Hi, I'm AJ.
I'm Jeremy.
What now? Alright, welcome back.
Another episode of Extraordinary Times. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Here we go. California, why do you disappoint me so much?
Because they're California.
I was there for 2 years and just... Anyway. Well, the way they've disappointed me this time is it's come to light that they have diverted funds, which you're like, okay, government, they divert funds, that's what they do.
It's true.
This time, though, they diverted funds from a 9/11 fund to help, people who had families that were victims of that tragic attack, to helping with their budget.
Trying to balance the budget and taking from, well, I'll call them sacred funds, if only because you shouldn't touch that.
Victims of a national tragedy.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. Either way, that's how bad they are right now. Just, I don't know what that state's going to do.
Poor California. So, next up, President Obama was giving a speech on, I believe, Tuesday, granting a former Polish soldier by the name of Jan Karski the Presidential Medal of Freedom because he was awesome. He was a resistance fighter who sneaked behind enemy lines, witnessed atrocities being committed against the Jews, and then was reporting them so that people would know. Because back then, I mean, if you think our media is controlled and biased, and now, oh man, it was, especially Nazi Germany and Nazi controlled everywhere. Yeah, it was really bad. So that's not really the whole news of it, actually, because he talked about the camp, one of the camps that Jan was spying on in Poland, and call it a Polish death camp. Completely ignoring the fact that it was a Nazi-run death camp in Poland. We get on our politicians about misspeaking, and we talked about that earlier about Mitt Romney being very careful about how he says things. First off, our president current is a teleprompter addict, and thusly cannot say he misspoke because he's reading.
Right.
And then the Polish Prime Minister actually came out and he said exactly what I thought. So I have to read his words verbatim. He said, "When someone says Polish death camps, it is as if there were no Nazis, no German responsibility, as if there was no Hitler. That is why our Polish sensitivity in these situations is so much more than just simply a feeling of national pride." He said... Additionally, that it shows ignorance, a lack of knowledge, bad intentions, basically completely ignoring history. It just makes me angry because, he's a really educated guy and he should know better.
Exactly. Alright, science.
Science.
Well, over in Japan, they've had a few problems with, radioactive things getting out of hand. So
earthquakes and radioactive radiation-attitude.
Right.
Sciencey words.
SoftBank Corporation, the carrier for the Apple iPhone and iPad in Japan, has come up with a little thing to help the general citizens of Japan. Basically, it's a Geiger counter and a mobile phone.
They have an app for that.
There's an app to check and see if there's radiation around you.
Or how radioactive you are,
right.
Or what have you. So, that's going to help in Fukushima?
Fukushima, yeah.
I remember things. But, it's really bad there, but it's kind of all across Japan. And, yesterday I read some story about tuna off the coast of California having the cesium particles from Japan. So, it's that bad. The Pacific Ocean, that covers a third of our world bad.
We should get that app. Anyway.
California should get that app.
Well,
Anyways, so some news that doesn't really matter, but just humors the crap out of me. BBC was, broadcasting the way BBC does the news, and they were talking about the UN and zooming in on their lady, and the background behind her is some candle-looking thing with barbed wire around it, and I think it's something to do with Iran. And the UNSC logo. Now, the UNSC, for us now, is the UN Security Council, but the UNSC that they are displaying is the United Nations Space Command from Halo. I have this pin.
Good job.
I have this pin on a hat because it's awesome. But you know what? It is not current.
It's fiction.
It's
Anyway.
fiction. Speaking of fiction, that's fantastic.
All right, so a lot of people have been complaining about George Lucas for a while now. That he's just all in for the money. He's ruining Star Wars. Well, he has given some good news, at least in my opinion. He is stepping away from Lucasfilm. He is stepping back. He's getting back to, according to him, more experimental films, more, lower budget films, just low budget sci-fi, that kind of stuff, and just, leaving everything else to Lucasfilm now. So,
Legal documentary didn't happen. I don't believe it. I'm not going to believe it until I have proof, like Star Wars gets good again.
Right. I'm still looking for a 7, 8, and 9.
Right?
A good one. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, yeah, just finish it, round it off. Round it off. It's supposed to be. Anyways, it was made to be that way, for those of you who don't know. So in Russia, in St. Petersburg, there is a man who's, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the company he is the CEO of, but it means... it means in contact, which in Russia is their version of Facebook, intranational, their internal Facebook. And this guy, he's worth like $260 million equivalent. And he was sitting up at his office and had this fantastic idea to take 5,000 ruble notes. For those of you who don't know, that is about $160 American. But he was taking 5,000 ruble notes, folding them up and paper airplaning them out the window like a boss. Apparently, it gathered a crowd and it was fun and games until about $2,000 American into it. He noticed the people starting to get violent, and he tweeted out, sorry guys, we gotta end the fun a little early. People are turning into animals. But don't worry, I'm gonna do this again soon. Paraphrasing.
Jeez.
But I want enough money that I can be bored and throw paper airplanes, $100 bills just out the window in downtown Houston. I want to do that.
Oh, gee, you might incite a riot, and then that could turn into problems.
Yeah.
Either way, all
just
right.
don't let those paper airplanes hit the wards, or else. Was that a bad joke? Anyways.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, speaking of kind of Facebook, a 9-year-old got on Facebook recently and was inspired by a story of a guy who turned a paperclip and through uptrading got a house. And he decided, okay, I'm going to start with a toy soldier. And he uptraded to about $900 worth of Disney gift certificates, airfare, and hotel credits.
I'm still not totally clear on how this trading thing goes on.
Really, I trade you this for this, and the other person has a slightly more valuable thing than yours. But to you, to them, your thing is more valuable. So you just keep going up.
A 9-year-old did this.
Right.
That's what gets me.
Why haven't I done this yet? Anyway, so yeah, he got all of this, and then decided, you know what? I'm going to donate this. So he picked a name out of a hat, and this family just happened to be. One that, well, he knew it was a family like this, but it was a family who had lost a family member to the war in Iraq, a soldier that had died. And he just showed up at the door and said, here you go to Disney.
Go.
Awesome.
We talked about the 6-year-old yesterday, by the way, yesterday's show. who is a super intelligent, super smart kid. And then there's this 9-year-old boy who is...
Brendan Haas, by the way.
Brendan Haas. Who is so giving and smart, first off, and giving, that he would just up and just toss out $900 because, well, he didn't really do anything to earn it, and somebody else could benefit way more from it. That's spectacular. Yeah. Cry. That's why I got the glasses. Seriously. No, not really. All the lights, they hurt my eyes. And I have headaches a lot. Moving on.
Last story of the day.
So, it was kind of hard news on Monday. And now we're wanting to kind of close off the show with more good news, like the best of humanity kind of news.
Right.
And so that boy and Angelina Jolie, for those of you who don't know, she's not just a pair of big boobs. She's actually a really fantastic human being. She is a special envoy for the United Nations and goes around and petitions great causes everywhere. Mm-hmm. Her most recent project was directing, actually, her first directorial film. Adventure. That's what I meant to say. See, he completes my sentences more than just coincidentally. But trying to move on. She brought this new movie entitled "In the Land of Blood and Honey" to the Foreign Secretary in London, William Hague, and is trying to get international support for this movie because it details, and it's a work of fiction, but it details true problems in the areas of Bosnia that are really just war-torn, and people are being slaughtered and raped, and just awful things are going on, all in the name of ethnic cleansing. For those of you who don't know, that stuff's been going on since the 90s. I actually started following it back when I was a kid in the 90s. And, I mean, it hasn't stopped in the 15 years this guy's been watching.
I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. Only 30 people have been convicted in the 5,000 rapes committed during the war in the 90s. I mean, utterly ridiculous. And even the foreign secretary didn't know about this. This was news to him. Ah, jeez, absolutely insane.
So, for those of you who want some poignance and who like foreign films and such, In the Land of Blood and Honey, not, obviously not a paid spot. We're not big enough for that.
Yeah.
But go look into it at least, because it sounds like, first off, Angelina Jolie directing a movie. What up?
Cool.
And secondly, it's real. It's poignant. It's relevant. Mm-hmm. And get buzz out about it, because even if you don't give buzz out about us, buzz this, because it matters. It really does matter. So tell your friends. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you watched to this point, you are awesome. Like it if you enjoyed it. Favorite it if you really enjoyed it. Subscribe to us if you want us to get better. He's AJ.
He's Jeremy.
And these are extraordinary times. Be aware.